Yesterday shook me, and not because my phone was stolen. It's because it showed me where I have been moving on on vibe instead of systems. Like just let's just go with the flow. Let's just see how things are. And look, I know I'm not the only one that does this. So I thought so today I want to share three things that I am changing immediately. Because losing a phone is annoying, frustrating, and oh my goodness. Ugh. But it's also about losing the access to life. It hits on a whole different kind of stress. So today I thought, okay, let's talk about preparedness. Prepared, preparedness. Yeah, that's it, right? Let me know in the comment section if I did. Anyway, yeah, because when that happened and phone got stolen, I went to the police station and the whole like I just, my goodness, I was tense. I came back and it just felt like something that hit me because of how, like, I was just, I guess it was just that nervous system protection kind of like thing for me. So the first thing that I'm like doing, I started doing actually, is contacts, like having those contacts numbers. Because here's the deal. When I went to, when I went to the police station and they wanted to take a statement and everything. It was like it was dragging and the way I was looking at it, it would just I wouldn't have been able to go into my next booking and my job. If you don't work, you don't get paid. So I said, okay, we would rearrange for when they would call me up and then we arrange when we would come and give a statement. And it was a case of give your um give us a number that we can reach you on. I know my husband's number. I get my kids to just say, okay, what's daddy's number, this and that, and they recite it. So I know it off heart. But for the life of me, I remember the five digits and the last three, the two middle ones. What's it again? What's it like? Is it I'll repeat the first bit and I'm like, and then I know the last one is like back. And then I'm thinking, my goodness, if I grown ass woman in this state of shock or like still trying to process everything that's going on. I'm asked their number and I don't know it. Well, my kids, how are they like how would they navigate this if they're ever in that situation of emergency? It doesn't have to be a phone stolen situation. Because I was gonna sing like you might not know. My we don't Our kids don't have phone until they're like 16, 17 when they finish like secondary school over here. And then they go in. So after the exams, they have the phone. And mind you, they have to buy it themselves. So my first one save up to get it. My second one, smart move, went and asked grandma for her old phone, and she gave. So he didn't have to. But they pay for their own services. They pay for everything. So I'm thinking, if any, like my younger ones, clueless, have no phone, but they know that if anything happens, here's the number. Ask somebody to call. Da, da, da. Da. So if they're in a state of shock like I was, how would they manage to give the thing? So yeah, hence the plan is to have those series of contacts where would have the name and everything. So if they're like, oh, I can't remember, like what's happening here? It's in my backpack. It's in this. Here's the number. Call. So for me, the first thing that I'm doing with those contacts is definitely my husband and then two other close people that I would have their numbers just in case I can't get hold of him. I have a hold of other people because what happened when I came back because I had to go down to the because again I didn't remember my Apple ID password because everything had a safe password. I had this app that remembers all the password and is secure and all those things. I don't remember. Like, it's been how many years? I don't remember it. So um yeah, what was I saying? So when I do remember the Apple password and everything. So I had to, yeah, that's the yeah. So I had to go to so they had to send me by text message And because the phone's gone, I had to go and get a new SIM. But when I went there, they said I needed like a proof of identity and I didn't have a passport or driving license on me. Another story, another time. But anyway, all that commotion. So after my late booking at around 5, which around 6, I went down to this place and they had like other people in front of me to support. By the time I got home, I didn't get home till about 9 o'clock. So they were already worried, like, they know what's going on. So I would have just asked someone, please, do you mind calling my folks or just texting them to say I'm fine? This was the situation. But because I don't know what number it is, they were like, I got home, it's like, oh, we're about to send a search party. Like, what happened? So definitely that number and 2 other contacts in case I can't get hold of him. And then with all the, as still I'm working as a freelance interpreter, I'm going to have contacts to the agencies because I never, that I work for this person here, there, like they all varies. So having all their lists of their contact numbers, because the other thing is like, oh, do you mind Googling these people so I can figure out? Because one of the places I went to afterwards, I knew the location, but I didn't know who needed me in this building. A quick phone call, a quick message to the agency, they would have redirected me to the right place. But because I didn't know their number as well, unfortunately for me, I had time to be able to figure all those things out. It all worked out. But moving forward, it's something that I would want to have a list of their numbers so that I have that in hand. I would have like my Apple ID and something. I wouldn't want to put my password with the ID, but it's something that will help me remember the password so that you know, it's not there to be like, oh yeah, da, da, da. Then if someone has that, then they have access. So I have to be very clever on how I put that in there. And then, yeah, so to probably be in my wallet, I'm also considering having like a physical diary. I mean, it works. I have a journal, which I can also just that I have with me. So like when I'm just wanting like daydreaming, whatever, I can just write things down or just condition myself. So I can always put that in there as well. Also put it in my wallet and my backpack is where I'm thinking of putting the contacts. So that's the first thing that I am doing in terms of just reaching out, letting people know what's going on, where I am, the situation, that because trying to rely on, oh, I know the number of hat. Even when I forgot that, I'm like, okay, which other number can I use? Okay, let me put my parents' landline. And I was there thinking, I ended up putting ours, which we've disconnected, but it's not there. So I was like, ain't working. So yeah, hence having those numbers are very important that need to have in place in there so that I can free my memory if I'm in that state of shock. So the second thing that I want to make sure that I have in my person, especially for my work situation, for me is going to be my booking, like I'm calling it like the snapshot of my booking. So basically, I'm using Google Calendar right now. And what I tend to do is I will put the initials of the agency and I'll put the postcode and the nature of the booking. So I know when like what it is, and then Google Calendar will cover up how long the duration they booked me for. So that's clear. So I'll probably have a snapshot of that and then probably email it to myself so that in case I don't remember I'm just thinking that that might be a thing. Again, write it down, but it's definitely having that screenshot. Like moving forward, I want to also have, yeah, the ones I have my email, at least I have access to that. Then I can then go in there and see it. And now I'm thinking in hindsight, when I was thinking about this, actually, if I can get into do it on my main Google account, I can then go into my Google email and then I can see that way. I can actually see the full thing. Or even easier. Uh, Look, all the things I'm saying, if you have a better way that I can actually do this thing, please do advise because this is what like what I am planning on doing right now that would help. So yeah, and I'm just thinking out loud right now. So yeah, so that definitely would just snapshot email that to myself so I have that for the day. what in terms of what I am doing, where I'm going. So that would have the location, the address, the nature, and any like information or instructions that I have to do. Because some things wait for, like if it's a home visit, wait for us, we'll go in together. It could be we when you get here, give us a call. So many things. There's so many scenarios that tends to happen. So it's having maybe adding that to my the calendar as under the notes to say, "Ooh, okay, how would that work?" Because if I'm doing a screenshot, I might not see those extra notes. At least it's better to just know where I'm going to than to know the extra. But if I have access to logging into the email, then I can be able to go into the calendar where I can then see where I am doing and all those kind of things. So yeah, because I definitely need to know the address, the time, and the contact of who is I am working with. So having that snapshot of that could be a thing because I don't want to make it too extra work. Do you know what I mean? Like, what now? Want to make sure that it's very easy to do and there is no how does this work or how that will work. But yeah, but definitely knowing, not just relying on the initial, oh, when I get the booking, this is fine here, and then wait till the day. It's like, okay, where am I going now? Oh, what next now? Oh, no, we're actually preparing ourselves fully for that. So getting those, I might need to still fine tune how this is going to look in terms of knowing what the bookings are on the day. Yeah, how we get to do that so that it's seamless and it's just effortless. There might even be, I was gonna say an app, but my phone's gone. So how we're gonna use that? Yeah, this is emergency. What do we do once that's gone? We're on our like our bearings, that situation. So yeah. And I'm so glad that I was in the season, this side note, of I use a physical map before now everything's on the phone. So having to be able to read and understand, like even if I got given a printout or like instructions, easy to kind of like maneuver and follow and know exactly how what that's going to look like. Because if not, it'll be interesting, tricky. I think this is now giving me the heads up that a physical diary notebook might be needed to just jot things down. Hmm, okay, we might have to go back to that because when this digital work came in, I moved everything online. So I didn't have to say, okay, I'm going here. Okay, next this time, put on calendar like that. So hence, I didn't need that. Yeah, interesting. But I'm thinking just screenshotting it to myself, doing that. Hopefully, I'll be able to get access. We'll see if I can remember. Um, maybe I get to write it down on my notebook that I have. This is where I'm going for the just for the temporary time until I find a much better way. So just in case I don't have access to my email on my notebook every single day, I'll just write down where I'm heading to. I can even do like a process, segment intent. Wouldn't it be nice? This happens, that happens, and I'll just write down. Oh, I could do a process that way. That will be more empowering and just write the locations and just do an exercise that way and give myself like a 2, 3 minutes, like this is where I'm going. Ooh, look. We just created something there. That would work. So I know where I'm going because everywhere I go, it's not always the same. Um, place and thing. So we can segment intend how it happens. And by so doing, knowing where we're going. Look at what we just created on the fly. Nice. So yeah, we get to do that. Depending what yours is. Like for me, I get to do that on mine, like on my notebook. So I can just do that in the morning. This is what's happening and segment intend how I want the day to happen and what that gets to look like and where we're going with the postcode and if there's any instruction, look at that and then make it fun. Okay. that's what we're going to be doing moving forward. Add that to our notebook and every single day for work. And then if I have a coaching client or whatever, we add that into the segment intent and just create the day. Look at that. And then we have a record of what that gets to look like in our notes, my notebook. And then you get to create yours depending on how you're, if you're in one place, you already know what, like for me, this is what it is because I'm here, there, and everywhere, right? Yeah. So that's the second one. And I think we've got it down now. I think we've got it locked in because I was thinking, yeah, I'll screenshot myself. And like, but if I don't have access to the email, like, how am I going to actually physically get this thing? So now we've resolved that one now. To this case that we're just journal like a 2, 3 minutes of what the day is going to look like, putting in some vibes in there and done. Okay. So that's the second one done. And then the next one that, or the third one, there is a bonus one, but the third thing that I feel like I want to do, because the other one is extra, that is to have like my invoicing rule. At present, I am registered with about 9 different agencies. Why I'm registered and not directly with the different bodies is a lot of the organizations and places, departments, calling people here back and forth, it just takes time. So rather they'll give the whole contract. So a hospital body, a government department, or whatever it is, will give that contract to a agency. And then myself and other people will freelance. Sometimes some of these agencies have in-house interpreters that work for them. And then we just fill up the ones that their people can't do, we fill them up. And then what tends to do is they would either send out emails or they'll send out text messages or they'll send out or sometimes they'll call if it's like an emergency, like, oh, can you do today? Or like those different ways. And then if you're available, some you don't even need to reply to say I'm not available. They just know you're not available. And some like, please let us know, yes or no. And then yeah, then the same thing with text. They send out a text. If you reply, you're good. If you don't, they just know you're not interested or blah blah blah. That's how it rolls. And then some have an app. They've created an app where you finish the job there and there, it's gone. I loved me that app. For some reason, after a couple of months, mine just stopped working. I deleted it, put it back in, delete nothing. It just would not come back. So hopefully, maybe this is a good thing. When I get my new phone and I put the app in there, maybe that would work. Maybe. Yeah. And then it become like immediately after the job's done, they sign you off, they get it. Everyone's, Bob's your uncle. Everyone's fine. Like it's done on that part. And then you have some where you have to physically, they'll give you a blank timesheet, is what it's called. And you have to put in all the details in there. The location, the name, your reference, that reference, this time, start, finish. Like, come on now. Some others would just give you, they'll fill out the main information and then you just fill in the start time, finish time, signature, what their role is, and blah blah blah. That's it. So everyone's different. The one we have to fill out, it's time for an upgrade. Maybe the app will be a good thing. Not just, even if you just repopulate it, one of those things would really help to help speed the thing. So we have all these different ways that I have to prove that I have attended, prove that I've done the work. And sometimes, like there's so many variables. You go there, they cancel the client, they didn't cancel you, so it's a no-show. Or you go there, it's a wrong language, or it happens that so many things. So there are like different ways you have to like let them know. And the reason why I normally wait till the weekend to do all this stuff is sometimes you're booked for, say, for example, an hour. You only use for like half the hour. You can't send it in because they've locked it because they've requested for the hour. You have to wait for that hour to then send the thing. If not, it won't go through. So I'm like, okay, weekend. I don't work weekend, so I can just do my thing. I have like admin like time that I just do my admin stuff. So yeah, that's the deal, right? And that's how I've always done it. And then I think last weekend I had some function and I just couldn't do anything. So I have like a 2 weeks load of interpreting invoices that I haven't. So what would happen is I would populate it in my thing, and then I'll just get like the signature and the name, and that's down. And then then weekend, like today, I'll just fill up the whole thing and then upload it because now it's open because the fixed time is off. So so yeah, that's kind of like why the instant sending has not been a thing. And like, why, why are you waiting so long to then close this thing? That's my reason. So what I want to do now, the thing I want to change immediately is that I send off the invoice the same day, even if it's 5 minutes before I go to bed. Like having that habit of I do the work the same day I have sent the thing off so that there is no issue of did I make that payment? Like, or is it covered? Or this happened? Like, it is done. Like, and even if it's like sometimes I think what I'm also going to do is like some of them, I would just fill up everything and I normally would like screenshot and then I have to send it. Like, do that immediately so that by the evening when everything is free and locked in, maybe on the ride home, it's just like sometimes like, oh yeah, I want to do it, but you again, you don't have if you're on the underground, there is no connection. So it's like, but having is designated time just to send those things off. It's literally I average 3 a day, right? What like I can do that, right, in a day. Then I'm waiting because I come home, I have other things I'm doing that. Like, but adding that to like a non-negotiable, once I do the job, it's time to send that thing off. Will just help with this removing this backlog that I happen to have that now I'm having to explain. I've reached out to the companies and they're like, okay, send an email to these people. So what I'm waiting on now is let me get access to the phone once. So I'm having to wait 24 hours for them to see if I'm the genuine person of this thing. And so they send me the reset password thing. I can get the phone, like request for the new phone from the insurance company, and then log in and see if the app is there. And if everything is there, then I can just do it. If not, I will send the email, or I might just send an email, just saying this is the situation. We'll see how things go. Either or, this is what's happening. Maybe that's a much better thing to do so that I can keep them in the loop of what's going on than waiting for that for me to get into the phone. I'll do the latter. I'll send them an email just to say what's what. So yeah, so I like invoice rules changing how we roll, making sure that we because we have to collect the coins. We've done the job, so we need to we get to excuse me if I shook you there. We get to send off so we can get the coins to say that we've done the job, right? That's a flag. So those are like the three main thing. And then for me, the extra thing, which was the other thing that was so painful, was um the storage, my pictures, all those pictures. Again, when I see my phone, I would know how much I have lost. I definitely know I have lost some. And yeah, sorting out the cloud situation. When I was speaking to a friend about the amounts that I was told about the £80 that they were like, "Oh, like check that. That seems a lot. Like also check out using different spaces and stuff." So I'll be revisiting that once if once here, like what we get, like how I can make sure that I get it backed up, I get those things in place so that it's reasonable. Utilizing my Google Drive as well, because I'm paying for Google Drive, like how I can upload with that. And then since I'm doing this daily video, some people actually have a copy of theirs in a hard drive so that in case anything happens, you know, even though we're here on YouTube, anything they could say cancel, So they have their physical copy on there as well. So that's something that I'm looking to figure out what that gets to look like. So having that the clouds and the backup in place to make sure that that's secure as well. So if anything, if it's the video, like just download it into the hard drive and then having that sitting and waiting so that it just gives one that peace of mind that, you know what, it is what it is. do all those precaution, and also making sure, like, obviously, I intend to now get like a sling. I found one that's really good. I'm waiting on to see if I'm going to be given the same device or upgraded in case they don't have. Then I would know what case to get, or which one of those that I'm wanting to move forward. So that's like, so it's kind of like a waiting game, like I am on now, but I'm just reflect and decide, okay, what would I do differently? Because what I did didn't work, and that happened, and like, whoa. So yeah, be careful as as things went on, like just going along, and then going into, when I was following this person going into a compromising situation, I had to be very careful not to do that, because I wanted to go to away, and I was like still following because I knew they were attached to that person. And I was still following and following and going into, like, they're trying to like go up and like, oh, yeah, I won't be doing that. Like, just stick to staying in open places than following people in places that you don't know what's going on. So those are the three things and the bonus thing that I'll be doing moving forward. If it ever, I don't intend for that to happen, because I'm going to be more alert, and like my eyes, I'm going to be very careful, very everything. But in case it happens, because I was speaking to someone and they said it happened to this person twice. One, they were on the bus, they were on the by the edge of the exit, and the person just went from outside and snatched and ran. And then the second time they were walking, then they were trying to take a picture or something. And then it happened again twice to one person. I've now known that somebody that happened to twice. So I don't want to be part of that statistics. So I'm going to be doing all my precaution. And look, life, if it ever happens, at least with this plan moving forward, I have a much better way to make sure that I am in the loop, things are happening, things are secure, and I'm moving forward. So that's what I'll be doing. That's the things that I'll be changing now and putting in place for whatever tends to happen, and supporting my kids as well in making sure they are ready for emergency numbers and things like that. That's the plan. And if you have any idea, tips, and things, or how you are like would handle situations like this, or if you know someone or anything, please drop in the comment section. Let me know. Share any tips and ideas so that we can, like, enrich and support each other if this eventualities ever happen, and what we can do to make sure we are on par and safe. Till next time, I am Nene. Remember, your voice matters, and it's your time to use it. Bye for now.